Captain William Ironhand Carter had seen many impossible things beneath the Atlantic. But what happened on March 14th, 1968 would break every rule of physics he'd ever known. The USS Thornback was cruising at 400 meters depth, running silent through the mid-Atlantic ridge. It was supposed to be a routine reconnaissance mission. Carter stood in the control room, hands clasped behind his back, watching the green glow of the sonar screen. His crew worked with the precision of a Swiss watch. Every man knew his role, every sound had meaning. Then the compass started spinning. "Sir," Lieutenant Marcus Chen's voice cracked slightly. He was the navigation officer, 26 years old, brilliant with numbers. "Sir, the compass it's rotating, continuously." Carter stepped closer. The magnetic compass was indeed spinning like a child's toy, the needle whirling without pause. "Check the gyrocompass." Chen's fingers flew across the instruments. "Gyrocompass shows the same, Captain. We're pointed in every direction at once." That was impossible. The gyrocompass didn't rely on magnetism. It used the Earth's rotation. For both systems to fail simultaneously meant something far worse than equipment malfunction. "Sonar, report," Carter ordered, keeping his voice level. Panic was contagious in a submarine. Petty Officer Samuel Rodriguez hunched over his equipment, headphones pressed tight against his ears. "Sir, this doesn't make sense. I'm detecting a large object directly above us." "Above?" Carter's jaw tightened. "Rodriguez, we're at 400 meters. There's nothing above us except 300 meters of ocean and then sky." "I know that, sir, but..." Rodriguez's face went pale. "Captain, the object is moving. Coming closer. Distance now 200 meters. Above us." The control room fell silent except for the gentle hum of electronics and the distant ping of active sonar. Every man was thinking the same thing. How could something be above them in the middle of the ocean? Carter made a decision. "Dive officer, take us down. 50 meters, slow descent." "Aye, Captain. Diving to 450. The submarine tilted slightly as the dive planes adjusted. The pressure gauge climbed, but something was wrong. Carter felt it in his bones before the instruments confirmed it. "Sir!" The dive officer's voice was strained. "We're not descending. Captain, we're rising." "Engines are full ahead," the helmsman confirmed. "Dive planes at maximum down angle, but we're ascending at 15 meters per minute." Carter's mind raced. They were being pulled upward despite fighting against it. "All stop! Level the planes!" As the engines cut, something even stranger happened. A pencil on the navigation table began to float. Chen reached for it instinctively, but it drifted away from his fingers, rotating slowly in mid-air. "What in God's name?" Chen whispered. Throughout the control room, small objects began lifting. A coffee mug drifted past Carter's face. Droplets of condensation from the pipes formed perfect spheres, hovering like tiny planets. The submarine's logbook opened, its pages fanning out weightlessly. "We've lost gravity," Carter said quietly. Then, louder, "All hands, secure loose objects. This is not a drill." But it wasn't just zero gravity. It was selective. The crew remained pressed to the deck. They could feel their weight, but everything not bolted down was floating, drifting, as if the submarine existed in two different gravitational fields simultaneously. "Sonar?" Carter asked. Rodriguez's hands were shaking. "The object is..." "Sir, it's directly above us now. Distance 50 meters. And Captain..." He swallowed hard. "It's the same size as us. Exact same dimensions as our submarine." That detail struck Carter like a physical blow. Something the same size as the Thornback, hovering 50 meters above them in the middle of the ocean, pulling them upward while negating gravity for inanimate objects. This wasn't a natural phenomenon. "Sir, I'm picking up a sound," Rodriguez said suddenly. It's not mechanical. It's almost like..." He pulled the headphones away from his ears, wincing. "It's like singing, or calling." "Put it on speaker." Rodriguez hesitated, then flipped a switch. The control room filled with sound, a low, resonant tone that seemed to vibrate in their chests. It wasn't quite music, wasn't quite speech. It rose and fell in patterns that felt almost familiar, like a language heard in a dream. Lieutenant Chen grabbed the edge of the navigation table, his face confused. "Does anyone else? Do you hear words in that?" "Negative," Carter said firmly. "It's just sound. Some kind of acoustic phenomenon." "No, sir, I hear it too," the helmsman interrupted. It's saying, come up," over and over. "Come up, come up." Carter looked around the control room. Half his crew was nodding, their eyes distant, focused on something internal. They were hearing words in that alien sound. Worse, they looked like they wanted to obey. "Rodriguez, cut that speaker. Now." The sound died, but its echo seemed to linger in the metal walls. Several crew members blinked, as if waking from a trance. "Status report. All stations," Carter ordered, re-establishing routine to combat the creeping unreality. The reports came in. All systems functional, except navigation. The submarine continued rising slowly despite their best efforts. They were at 380 meters now, ascending at a steady rate. The floating objects drifted lazily through the air, some bumping gently against the curved ceiling. Then Ensign James Parker, the youngest officer aboard, spoke up from his station near the aft bulkhead. "Captain, I need to tell you something." Carter turned. Parker was 22, fresh from the Naval Academy. Still had that earnest look of someone who believed rules could solve every problem. Right now, he looked terrified. "I've been hearing the voice for 3 days, Parker said quietly. "Since before we entered this sector, in my dreams. It told me we were coming to the right place. It told me not to be afraid when the gravity stopped." The control room froze. Carter felt ice in his veins. "Ensign, why didn't you report this?" "I thought I was just stressed, sir. We all have strange dreams on long deployments." "But it wasn't a dream, was it?" Parker's voice cracked. It knew we were coming here. It was waiting for us." Carter's tactical mind sorted through possibilities. Psychological warfare? Some new Soviet technology? But no human technology could do this, suspend physics itself, reach into a man's dreams. Whatever was above them wasn't from any nation's arsenal. "Sir, something's happening," Rodriguez called out. "The object is changing shape. It's elongating." "Show me." Rodriguez pulled up the sonar display on the main screen. The green blob representing the object above them was indeed shifting, stretching, forming branches like a tree or like fingers reaching down. "Distance?" Carter asked. 30 meters and closing. Captain, at this rate, it'll make contact with our hull in 2 minutes. Carter had seconds to decide. Surface, they'd be pulled up anyway. Dive, impossible against this force. Fight? How did you fight something that rewrote the laws of physics? "All hands, brace for contact," he announced over the intercom. "Seal all interior hatches. Emergency lights only." The control room dimmed to red battle lighting. The floating objects cast strange shadows, still drifting in their impossible dance. Carter gripped the periscope housing, the cold metal solid and real beneath his palms. 20 meters, Rodriguez counted. 15, 10, the sound came back. Not through speakers this time, but through the hull itself. The entire submarine became a bell, resonating with that deep, calling tone. Carter felt it in his teeth, his bones, the base of his skull. And this time, he heard the words, "Come up, come up, come up and see." "Contact!" Rodriguez shouted. "This is." Submarine shuddered, the lights flickered, and then silence. Perfect, absolute silence. Even the ever-present hum of the reactor seemed to fade away. Carter looked up at the ceiling. Something was pressing against the hull from above. He could hear the metal groaning softly under pressure. Not crushing pressure, but contact, deliberate, controlled contact. "Hull integrity?" he called. "Holding, sir. No breaches. But the pressure readings are..." "Captain, we're reading 0 external pressure, as if we're not underwater anymore." That was impossible. They were at 350 meters depth now, still ascending. The pressure should be enormous. A new sound started. Tapping. Something was tapping on the hull in a rhythmic pattern. Tap, tap, tap. Pause. Tap, tap. Pause. Tap, tap, tap. "That's Morse code," Chen said. "SOS. Something up there is calling for help? The helmsman asked incredulously. The thing that's kidnapping us is sending a distress signal? The tapping continued, but as Carter listened, he realized it wasn't repeating. It was a longer message, still in Morse. We are you. We went up. Do not go up. Turn back. Turn back. Turn back. Carter's blood went cold. Rodriguez, when we first detected the object, you said it was the same dimensions as our submarine. Exact dimensions. Confirm that reading. Rodriguez checked his instruments again. Confirmed, sir. Length, beam, draft. Identical to the Thornback. And the acoustic signature? Can you match it? A long pause. Then Rodriguez looked up, his face gray. Sir, the acoustic signature matches a Sturgeon-class submarine. It matches our signature exactly. Captain, that object it's broadcasting our exact sound profile. Lieutenant Chen was the first to say it aloud. It's us. Somehow, that's us up there. The temperature in the control room seemed to drop. Carter's rational mind rejected the idea completely, but the evidence was impossible to deny. The dimensions, the acoustic signature, the message in Morse code. We are you. But how could they be above themselves? Had they somehow encountered a mirror, a reflection? Was this some distortion in space-time, showing them their own future or past? Captain, Parker spoke up again, his voice steadier now. In my dreams, the voice showed me something. It showed me the Thornback surfacing in this exact spot. And when we broke the surface, the sky was wrong. The stars were in different positions. The voice said we went somewhere else. And it said that others would come, following our signal, and we had to warn them. Carter's mind spun. Are you saying that submarine above us is the Thornback? That we somehow surface here, go somewhere, and then come back to warn ourselves not to make the same mistake? I don't know what I'm saying, sir, Parker admitted. But in the dream, I saw myself standing on the bridge, looking up at stars I didn't recognize, and I was screaming for us to dive, to go back, but it was too late. The thing in the sky had seen us. What thing? Parker's eyes were haunted. I don't know, Captain. I woke up before I saw it, but I felt it looking at us, and I knew that once it saw us, we could never go home. The tapping on the hull grew more frantic. Turn back. Turn back. The sky is wrong. Turn back. Sir, we're at 300 meters, the dive officer reported. Still ascending. If this continues, we'll breach the surface in 12 minutes. Carter had to make a choice. Trust his instruments, his training, his understanding of reality, or trust the impossible message from a future version of his own submarine, warning them away from something that waited above the waves. All ahead full, Carter ordered. Emergency dive. Maximum down angle. Every man to diving stations. Sir, we've tried that. Do it, Carter commanded. Rodriguez, activate the emergency ballast blow. Reverse mode. Flood all tanks. I want every ounce of weight we can get. The crew responded instantly, trained instinct overriding their fear. The submarine's engines roared to full power. Water rushed into the ballast tanks with a thunderous gurgle. The deck tilted sharply downward as the dive planes angled for maximum descent. For a moment, nothing changed. They continued rising. The tapping on the hull grew desperate. No, 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 too late, too late. Then Carter felt it, a sensation like something releasing them. The floating objects suddenly dropped to the deck with a clatter. The compass stopped spinning and snapped north. And the submarine, overloaded with ballast water and diving at full power, plunged downward like a stone. We're diving, the dive officer shouted. Descent rate 40 meters per minute. Sonar, status of the object. Rodriguez pressed his headphones tight. Sir, it's following us. Descending with us. Matching our rate exactly. Distance maintaining at 50 meters. Can we outrun it? Negative, sir. It's matching every move. They passed through 400 meters. 450, 500. The hull groaned under the pressure. This was beyond the Thornback's rated depth, but Carter kept them diving. Whatever was chasing them had already demonstrated it could ignore physics. Maybe extreme depth would make a difference. At 600 meters, Rodriguez reported, Sir, I'm losing the contact. It's fading. breaking up on sonar. Keep tracking it. 650 meters. Contact is fragmenting. It's like it's dissolving, sir. 700 meters. Contact lost. Whatever it was, it's gone. Carter waited another full minute, listening to the ominous creaks of stressed metal around them before giving the order. Level off. Slow ascent to operational depth. As they rose back to safer waters, the crew slowly relaxed. The compass pointed steadily north. Gravity behaved normally. The sonar showed only empty ocean around them. But Carter knew they'd gotten lucky. Or had they? If Parker's dreams were true, if that thing above them really had been a future version of the Thornback, then they'd just changed their own timeline. They hadn't surfaced. They hadn't gone to somewhere else. They hadn't seen what was in the sky. "Sir," Chen said quietly, "what do we put in the log?" That was the question, wasn't it? How did you report the impossible? Carter looked around at his crew. Good men, rational men, who'd just experienced something that defied every law of nature. "We encountered a magnetic anomaly that affected our navigation systems," Carter said carefully. "We conducted evasive maneuvers and continued our mission." "Standard patrol report." Chen nodded, understanding. Some things couldn't be written down, some things couldn't be explained. But as the Thornback headed back towards safe waters, Carter couldn't stop thinking about that message tapped on the hull. "We are you." We went up. Had they really changed the future? Or was this always how it was supposed to happen, a loop of warning and escape, repeating endlessly? And somewhere, somewhen, was there another Captain Carter who hadn't heard the warning, who had surfaced, who had seen what was waiting in the wrong sky? 3 days later, as they approached their home port, Ensign Parker came to Carter's cabin. He looked exhausted, dark circles under his eyes. "Sir, I need to report something. I had another dream last night." Carter gestured for him to sit, though he wasn't sure he wanted to hear this. "I dreamed I was in the control room," Parker continued. "But it was different, older, somehow, corroded, and I was alone. I walked through the entire submarine and every station was empty. But in the captain's cabin, I found a logbook. I could only read one entry before I woke up." "What did it say?" Parker's voice was barely a whisper. "It said, day 4183 in the anomaly. Still ascending. The crew is gone now. They all went outside to see the sky. I'm the only one who remembered the warning. I keep tapping on the hull whenever I detect another submarine below. Maybe someday one will listen. Maybe someday one will turn back. Captain William Carter, USS Thornback, signing off." The two men sat in silence. Carter thought about that other version of himself, trapped forever in rising waters, endlessly warning ships that might never come, hoping one would listen. "Thank you for telling me, Ensign," Carter finally said. "Get some rest. And Parker, no more dreams. That's an order." Parker managed a weak smile. "I'll do my best, sir." After he left, Carter opened his own logbook to the entry from 3 days ago. He'd written the official report: magnetic anomaly, navigation difficulties, successful evasion. But now he added a single line in his personal notes, knowing it might never be read, might never matter. "To any vessel that encounters the anomaly at 41 degrees, 28 degrees, do not surface. Turn back. The sky is wrong." He closed the book and looked out the small porthole at the dark Atlantic waters. Somewhere out there, in some version of reality, a Captain Carter was still trapped, still warning, still hoping someone would listen. But not this Carter, not this crew. They'd heard the warning. They'd turned back. The USS Thornback sailed into port on March 18, 1968. The mission was officially logged as routine. No anomalies reported. No incidents of note. Carter stood on the bridge as they entered harbor, watching the solid, real, normal sky above them. The stars were in their proper places. The laws of physics held firm, but sometimes, late at night, he would wake from dreams of ascending through dark water, of breaking the surface into a sky where something vast and terrible waited to see what had arrived. And he would remember, they'd gone up. Somewhere, somehow, they'd gone up. But not here. Not now. Not this time. The Thornback's engines cut to idle as tugs guided them to dock. Carter saluted the flag on shore, solid ground beneath his feet once more. Above him, the sky remained exactly where it should be, and that, Captain William Ironhand Carter decided, was enough.